Hello.
Hey.
The parents didn't even know about this curriculum. They didn't know what was, I should say, they didn't know what was in the curriculum. We believe that there are two genders, male and female. It is the responsibility of the parents to teach their children about sex, moral responsibility. It's not the education system. If a teacher's asking a child, I want you to use personal pronouns, or today would you, Susie, would you like to be a boy today instead of a girl? Or do you feel like you're a boy? That is not acceptable.
As a community, we would like the board to consider removing all curriculum in classes that have not been properly approved by the board. The open stacks curriculum for sociology and psychology was never approved by the board as required by law. Purchasing the curriculum without board approval is a misuse of public funds and our levy dollars. We as a community are not okay with our levy money being misspent on curriculum that is not approved by the board, period. We have zero tolerance for this.
I'm here speaking today because I have experienced the Intro into Psychology class. To the Nampa School Board of Trustees, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm also speaking for some students who have experienced this class as well. Some of us signed up for this class because we didn't have any other options, and some thought it would sounded interesting. Unfortunately, we have to take notes from a PowerPoint filled with one-sided information and answer questions from a textbook where he cherry picks the most controversial sections for us to read. The way he speaks to us is very negative. For example, before we started the discussion, he told us, "Don't answer this question like your uncle would on Facebook," implying that if we disagree, it is shameful for thinking like our family. He constantly downplays our family values whenever it is in direct conflict with his viewpoint. The last test he gave made a lot of us frustrated.
Will you pause for a second?
Sure.
Sorry, will you pause for time?
Sure.
I just feel like this sounds more like a personnel issue, which we're happy to hear, but we just don't do that in an open meeting.
She's allowed to talk. Whoa!
Guys, really quick, let's say, calm down. We have to have time to discuss it. Please give us just a second, please.
I personally don't feel like it's being pointed. These are the facts. This is what they experience by every year. I mean, this is what's happening.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that our personnel issues don't happen in an open meeting. We typically have them in executive session.
When a teacher can fail someone because of their conscience, that is wrong and that is bullying. This is an introduction to psychology class. I have read this curriculum and I have never been more shocked in my life. I am very disappointed that the one institution that I trusted is now the institution I feel I need to protect my child from. Cassie would like to read the end of her speech, if you would so let her.
Of course.
We know some people will criticize us and say we shouldn't be sheltered from society, and avoiding these topics in class doesn't prepare us for college or life after high school. But some of our favorite teachers are the ones who actually teach us to read and listen to multiple viewpoints. They expect us to think for ourselves, and they allow us to formulate our own thoughts based on our experiments, family values, and resources.
Thank you.
I have 4 points. We are here today not because we hate children who think they are transgender, but because we love them. While I know some of you might be concerned with the fact that kids who think they're transgender tend to have a 20% higher suicide rate, may I suggest that teaching them that there are more than two genders thus further confuses them and is actually worse, creates worse because they don't deal with the trauma that is always there. You see, studies show that after transitioning, by year 10 to 19, the suicide rate is not 20%, but 2,000%, which is not the case with non-transition kids. My friends, it's unloving for us to confuse kids that there are more than two genders. It is unloving for us not to care about kids who are confused. It's unloving of us to let them commit suicide 100 times more often. 2, God gave us his laws not because he's a killjoy, but because as the creator of us all, he knows what is healthy for us. He said he created us male and female. God said there are only two genders, and scientifically this has been proven correct with only a tiny percent of chromosomal abnormalities, which has not been classified as new genders. You folks and our schools are here first to teach truth, and there is only one truth, God's truth. Amen. I can't tell you how many times the lady said we got to teach psychology. How many times has psychology been wrong? Lobotomies? Shock treatments, anyone? Sure, we can have kids learn to choose between things, but they don't get to choose between established truth. This is one of them. Number 3, the Nuremberg trials demonstrated that if the government commands us to do something wrong and we do it, then the blood of the innocents is on our hands. It is your responsibility and our responsibility to reject that which is evil. Finally, let me say this. I can prove that God exists and the Bible is true using science, history, and logic, reason, philosophy, and archaeology. But to those who may not believe this, let me say what may be more important. A majority of the state believes in the fact that there are two genders only. A majority of this county believes in this fact. A majority of the city believes in this fact. And most important, I can assure you that a majority of parents in the school district believes this fact. We should not let the federal government decide what we teach our kids. We should decide what we teach our kids. That's right. So my friends, let us do the moral thing. Let us do the godly thing. Let's do the right thing. Thank you.